Here's a chart of DOGE Coin. I've never figured out as to how exactly it is pronounced, whether it's DOGE Coin or Doggy Coin. I think I've heard Andreas Antonopoulos call it DOGE Coin, so I'll go by that for now. I won't go back to the Genesis time period, but I think a simple count can be done more easily. So let's say that's the problem with these very long, extended, lethargic, multi-month, multi-year hibernations, if you so call it. So let's just, for the simplicity of it, count it. I'm just going to call this 1. Okay, oops. I'm just going to call this 1, 2. 2 is 0, 3, 4, 5. This is a daily, so it wouldn't be subminuet, it would be minor. By the way, let me share with you the degrees of scales. Hold on a second. So here's the Elliott wave degrees of scale. You can go as low as what I would call microcurrent, but it's technically subminuet. If you have a chart in like 5 minutes or 15-minute charts, it would be in minuet scale. If you have it in 60 minutes, 1 hour to 4 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours. If it's a daily chart, you should go by with the minute. With the weeklies, minor. So this doesn't necessarily mean you have to use a weekly chart. If wave 1 on a minor scale on a daily chart encompasses several weeks, you would use a minor degree count labeling. Intermediate, weeks to months. Primary, few months. Cycle, year to multi-year. Super cycle could be 40 to 70 years or so. And grand super cycle will be multi-century. And this is how subwaves or subminuet subwaves make minuet. Minuet impulse would make a minute. Grand supercycle begets the supercycle, which begets the cycle, so on and so on. It's just a subwave to the next. And if you look at it here, so I just showed you the time frame to use it at. And here are the symbols to designate the degrees, the degree cycle. Some people change this a little bit. I often cheat. I would, if I have to do it manually, quite often, I would just stick with 1 or 2 degrees at a time. But this is technically the correct way to label. Okay. So nope, not that one. Going back to Dogecoin. And if we check this is a daily chart. So I will keep it minor because each one encompasses several weeks. And if we have one way back here, 2, let's check the rules. Wave 2 does not equal or exceed the start of wave 1. Check. Wave 3 is not the shortest. Check. Wave 4, bottom of wave 4, does not overlap with the top peak of wave 1 and 5. And this is an extended fifth. Again, I am in the pursuit of identifying the nuances of Elliott wave counts for cryptos. And one of the personality traits of cryptos is a very long and extended wave 5. In equities, you see the wave 3 as the longest, 4 and 5. And 5 can sometimes be the shortest in equities, more often than not. Not so in cryptos. So after 5 waves, what happens? You have to have a requisite 3-wave correction. And you should be able to see that by now, I hope. If you have purchased the Frost and Proctor Elliott Wave Principles book, that might be a good way to study on the basics of it too. So you have A, B, C as A, B, C, D, E, or you can say, I'm sorry, A, B, C for B. C is always 5 waves down. And let's see if this has 5 waves down. Count it as 1, 2, 3. Oh no, gee, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't change it to the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 is barely just not overlapping technically. But is that where I want to put 4? I could, but put 5. I can also put 3 and 4 right there. Either way, it'll be fine. And this would not be in a minor scale. This would be in a minute scale. So I count 5 waves, which is composed of most C waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C, which gives you the A, subwaves of A's A, B, C, A, B, C for B, and C, which can be subdivided into 5 subwaves. So we have a full correction. Let's zoom into this a little bit more. The first indication of a trend reversal is an Elliott wave impulsive wave. So let's see what I count. 1, 2. Beginning of a 3 is not done, I don't think. It'll probably go to maybe this resistance. 3, get repulsed a little bit. Repelled, not repulsed, repelled. And 5 might reach this whole thing of resistance. Let's say it's extended. It's a daily. Okay, let me draw the lines on this. Yes, the value for now. So it'll look like this. So the impulse has started with 1, 2, and 3 is on its way. 4, 5. Okay. So let's look at it from a big long-term perspective. These 5 waves, these are minor waves, right? They become wave 1. Oops. these are minor waves, so they become minor becomes sub waves to the intermediate. So now we're going to make multi-weeks to multi-months, okay, to monthly time frame. So this wave 1 would make multi-month, so it would make it intermediate from wave 1, and I'll change the degree later. Here's wave 2. Three, 4, 5. Like so. I'm going to keep, see, I'm not too sure about the intermediate level of Elliott wave personality as to whether at the intermediate degree of trend, degree of labeling, whether 3 will be extended or 5 will be extended. I haven't seen enough observation to decide. On the daily the 5 is extended, but that doesn't necessarily mean that carries over to the next degree. Each degree has its own personality, so to speak. Okay? So this should be not minute, but intermediate. Like that. Gets messy here, but I just showed you the high definition of this subwave count. The big picture is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that will give us to about a penny. However, given that now it's about 1/110th of a penny, to a penny would be a very nice gain.